What you just watched was a Turkish rescue worker attempt to find survivors in one ruined building while yet another one collapses. And the latest, this headline, death toll from massive Turkey, Syria earthquake passes 6,000. The death toll from Monday's devastating earthquake and more than 300 aftershocks in southeast Turkey and northern Syria soared over 6,000. This was as of Tuesday, and crews raced to try to find survivors in the rubble of thousands of collapsed buildings. The aftershocks, including a magnitude 5.7 tremor that hit Tuesday, made the search itself dangerous. Now, Turkey's president declared a state of emergency for 3 months. No surprise there, across 10 provinces in the earthquake zone. We want to break some of this down by the numbers from Turkey/Syria earthquake. 6,000 people dead, 8,000 people have been pulled from under the rubble, 20,000 people taking part in the rescue efforts. Thank you. 380,000 people taking refuge in shelter. So that is by the numbers. We're getting that from The Guardian, also CBS News. Thank you very much. The sad reality, however, is that thousands of children may be among the dead. And why did this happen? So earthquakes are common in Turkey, which sits in a very seismically active region. So poor construction in that area is also a known problem. Many of the collapsed buildings appear to have been built from concrete without adequate seismic reinforcement. Seismic building codes in this region suggest that these buildings should be able to sustain strong earthquakes where the ground accelerates by 30 to 40% of the normal gravity without incurring this type of complete failure. Infrastructure, so important to communities all across the world. And so why not rebuild the buildings? Even though Turkish authorities know many buildings are unsafe in earthquakes, it is still a difficult problem to solve. Many of the buildings are already built, and seismic retrofitting may be expensive or not considered a priority compared to other social economic challenges. That reporting coming from CBS News. And then lastly, however, reconstruction after the quake may present an opportunity to rebuild more safely. That's what we want. In 2019, Turkey adopted new regulations to ensure buildings are better equipped to handle the shaking. So Big Wise, obviously this news is devastating. It's really sad to see this happen in any nation. Glad to see people from many nations, speaking of nations, really coming to the aid of our sisters and brothers and family and friends in the Turkey, Syria region.
Yeah, it's just really harrowing stuff. You mentioned infrastructure issues within the country. I would just hope that as a world community, folks, the powers that be, to get together to get these folks some adequate help and aid in helping the refurbishing of the places over there. If this is a really, volatile and seismic area of the world, I would hope that we could get the help in there to, retrofit these buildings for safety, so that when the next one happens, we don't have this level of death toll. And then, specifically to the people of Syria, who for the last decade plus essentially have been involved in a bitter, bloody civil war, a man-made disaster, to have a natural disaster happen to those folks, compounding that, and all the difficulties that they already have to endure. It's really sad stuff, deeply felt. Obviously, my thoughts go out to the people out in Turkey and Syria, because they're dealing with something, that I couldn't even imagine. Well, we live here in Los Angeles, where, there's a lot of earthquakes, and you think about it all the time living here.
Sure.
Especially in Southern California, just the dangers of that. And so to see that happen over there, makes me think of my own safety, honestly.
Yeah, obviously, and definitely thoughts and prayers, and we know action is happening in that region as well to try to bring some relief to the families there.